Hi guys, it's Zara. All right, day 2 of your 1-week challenge to get homeschool all sort of put in place for the holiday season. We're working on November, December, and January right now just to get our homeschool sort of streamlined so that it can be on autopilot. And I want to make it clear that you've probably, the issue during the holiday season isn't that you haven't planned for homeschooling. It's actually that you probably have planned for homeschooling, but you haven't actually planned for the holidays with your homeschooling. So if you went through the book, there's a part where you are looking at the 168 hours that you have each week and how you allocate those. And the reason that homeschooling can feel like a complete mess during the holidays is because the allocation of that 168 hours totally changes, right? You suddenly have all these different commitments and obligations that don't happen during the rest of the year. They're unique to this season. And so a lot of times what we do is we think, well, we're going to be like the schools and we're going to take those 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's. And, that'll be it. But the difference is when you're homeschooling, your school is happening in your home and it's happening alongside all of the preparations and travel and everything else that's going on outside of just those 2 weeks. And so it really does start to impact not just the 2 weeks around Christmas and New Year's, but it impacts your November, December, and January. I know there are some homeschoolers who take off the entire season. So they say, starting with Thanksgiving, we're doing nothing until the new year. And those people are probably the best off. But I think you could probably still get something from this challenge. And so I just want to make it clear that we just want to reconsider our homeschooling for these 3 months so that homeschooling doesn't become a source of stress any more than it needs to be. Hopefully it can be pretty well streamlined by the time we're done with this week. My kids are in the house, they're playing. If you hear screaming, it's for fun. Nobody's getting tortured, I promise. I think they're jumping on the bed. So okay, so yesterday's challenge, hopefully you've done it. Hopefully you have your schedule in line. It's you've got November, December, January. You put all your commitments on there. I'm curious if you noticed anything now that you have your sort of skeleton of commitments. What did you notice yesterday when you did that? Do you have a lot of free days? Did you realize whoa, we have a lot going on? What were your impressions when you actually saw it on paper? I really want to know, because it's always revealing to me when I put it on paper, right? So I'm sort of brain dumping, right? I'm getting everything out of my brain. I don't have to hold on to it there anymore. I'm putting it all on paper, but there's something very real about seeing it on paper, right? You sort of have to reconcile the amount of time you have in a day. So we did that, and then when I look at December, so, my December looks something like this. Basically put our things on. I use erasable colored pens because I always have to erase things, and then my kids each get their own color. So the next thing you're going to do today is pretty simple in theory, but you may have to really take a hard look at your schedule, is that you're going to take a highlighter and you're going to put a circle around every day, 1 day a week, you're going to choose to be your open day. This means you can do housework, you can do schoolwork, but this is when you will not schedule any commitments. 1 day a week that you don't schedule anything. Okay? So you're going to choose a highlighter. In this case, I chose yellow, and my days are Mondays in December. It does not always have to be the same day of the week. Some weeks you may have something on Monday, and so that week your open day needs to be on Thursday. And the idea is that you're going to highlight these days now so that as commitments come in, you're going to do your best to really guard that time to have no commitments. And the point of this is just to give yourself some space. So like I said, you can homeschool those days, you can do laundry those days, obviously your husband or you can go to work if that's what you normally do, sort of your normal days, but try not to schedule any practices, any meetings, any dinners, any commitments, just for 1 day a week that you don't have to do anything. And that will give you some space. So that's the first thing you're going to do. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to choose a to-do day. So this season is notorious for having things that you have to do, whether it's deep cleaning the house. I know a lot of people want to do that before the decorations go up, whether it's putting your decorations up, meal planning, food preparation, baking, gift shopping, gift wrapping, you name it. There are so many to-dos this time of year that I am going to ask you to then go through your calendar and one day a week choose a to-do day. So these are going to be days when you have relatively little going on. I chose mostly Saturdays, some Thursdays, because some Saturdays are really full. I chose Saturdays because my kids are young, and so having my husband around so that I can get things done is really useful to me, right? So practically speaking, I prefer it to be Saturday or Sunday so that he's here. So again, looking at my December, most of mine they alternate sort of between Saturdays and Sundays, depending on what we have going on. Now we do have basketball games on Saturdays, but that's just a quick 1 hour thing. And so now when I'm planning things, when things come up and people are saying, can you do this or can you do that? And I know that's my to-do day when I need to run errands, I need to make meals, I need to get the Christmas decorations out, I need to do my gift shopping, I can guard that time as well. And I can either look and say, is there another day that week that I can get my to-dos done? Or is there another day that I can meet this commitment? Or maybe I just can't do that commitment just now. Or maybe somebody else could take my kids, or, you just start getting creative. And the other thing the biggest reason to do this is that you reduce your stress. If you have in your mind floating around, I have so much to do, but there's a day in your week to get it done, at least get the most important stuff done for that week, then the stress is relieved, right? There's that light at the end of the tunnel. There's that time set aside. You don't need to carry that anxiety into your homeschool. You don't need to carry that anxiety into your family time. You don't need to carry that anxiety with you to bed. When am I going to get it done? When am I going to get it done? There's a day to get it done, right? And you may have to leave for an hour and run to a basketball game, but you're still going to get a lot done that day. Right? So that's all you're doing now. You're going to take a critical look at your calendar tonight. Not even that critical. But you're going to take a realistic look at your calendar tonight. And for this season, you are going to highlight a day with no commitments, where you don't have to be anywhere for anyone. Hopefully one day a week. And one day a week of where you are assigning it for to-dos. All of those to-do items. Okay, so that is the next step. Hopefully you're well on your way to the challenge. If you're just jumping in, go back and look at the first video. These are relatively quick steps so that it's not too daunting. Nothing should take, I don't even think it should take an hour. Last night was pretty intensive, having to put everything on a calendar. I know I had to pull up some emails and double check some schedules and write them all out. But I think it still took less than an hour. And tonight should be pretty quick. So let's get this done and we'll just keep moving forward. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Make sure you leave me comments. If you don't have a comment but you're watching and you're following along, just give me a little thumbs up or something so that I know that this is reaching people. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.